Hello everyone, Andrew here, and first of all thank you for joining me for my second part of my preview looking at this year's 24 Hours of Le Mans. So today we're going to be looking at the GTE-Pro class, and even though it's not the fastest class in the field for Le Mans, it's always one of the most hotly contested classes as it's so important to the manufacturers that take part. This class really still has the effect of win a race on a Sunday, sell cars on a Monday, as you can buy equivalents of these cars quite easily if you have the money. So as I say, there's going to be 4 manufacturers bringing cars to Le Mans this year, and they are Ferrari, Chevrolet, Porsche and Aston Martin. We're going to kick off by looking at the Ferraris. 3 Ferrari 458 Italias head to Le Mans this year, 2 of them run by Almost Works team AF Corsa, the other by British upcoming entrant Ram Racing. So the first car that we're going to look at is the number 51 car, which is run by AF Corsa. This is the car that's currently leading the championship, the GTE-Pro championship for the World Endurance Championship, and it's got its normal lineup of Gianmaria Bruni, Tony Vilander and F1 race winner Giancarlo Fisichella. This is such a strong team that I actually consider Giancarlo Fisichella to be the weak link in it. Gianmaria Bruni is probably one of the great GTE drivers of his time, and this car's undoubtedly going to be in contention for the victory as long as it doesn't get caught up in any mechanical issues or crashes along the way. Bruni really took this team onto new levels last year on their way to the World Championship. The Ferrari 458 may not be the best car in the field, but in the hands of Bruni it really can be quicker than anything else in the GTE classes. If things don't go well for that car, then the 71 car, also run by AF Corsa, will probably be there to sweep up the pieces. This car is being run by David Regon, James Collado and Olivier Beretta, and although they may not have the experience of the 51 crew, they're definitely still a quick bunch of guys who performed well so far in the WEC, claiming a podium at Spa. The third of the Ferraris, as I mentioned, is the Ram Racing car. This is the car that actually sat out Spa to ensure that they had enough finance to take part in the Le Mans 24 Hours this year, and still has a really strong lineup in it, with Matt Griffin, Alvaro Parente and Federico Leo driving the car. This privateer entry have already shown what they can do at races such as the 24 Hours of Dubai, so although they may not have the same resources as AF Corsa, don't count them out. They could quite possibly take a podium should things fall their way. So that's the Ferraris, but what about the new Chevrolet Corvettes, the C7Rs coming across from America? These guys may be surprised quite a few by not taking part in the World Endurance Championship this year, instead to look at winning the Tusk Series currently in its first season. But they return to Le Mans with this beautiful, powerful new car, and they're bringing across some of the best talent showcased in the Tusk Series with 2 cars. Firstly, the number 73, headed up by Jan Magnussen. He's joined in the hot seat by Antonio Garcia and Daytona Prototypes ace Jordan Taylor. The 74 car sees another regular from the Corvette program over recent years, Oliver Gavin, and he's joined by Tommy Milner and another Daytona Prototypes ace in the form of Brit Richard Westbrook. Corvette are desperate for this new car to win so it can add to its victories at Long Beach and Laguna Seca across in the States. My tip would be on the 73, that's the car which has actually won those 2 races across in the States, especially with the addition of Jordan Taylor in there. Yes, he's not driven the Corvette so far in the Tusk season, but he's been one of the top Daytona Prototype drivers this year and is a real good strong talent to look out for. So that's Corvette covered. Let's move on to Porsche, who are arguably the favourites for the class. They've had a brilliant start to the WEC season. They're the reigning Le Mans class champions, and they're bringing 2 of their brand new 911 across to France to compete again this year. So the car numbers to look out for are the 91 and the 92. Firstly, the 91, which also, like the Corvette, has had success across in America, including winning their class at the 24 Hours of Daytona. This car's being headed up by Patrick Pilet, and he's joined by Jörg Bergmeister and Nick Tandy. The 92 car's going to be driven by Marco Holzer, Fred Makovici and Richard Leete. The star driver in this car for me is probably Fred Makovici. He's really built up a reputation the last few years in GTE as one of the best GT drivers on the planet. He switches from Aston Martin to Porsche this year. Let's see if he can carry over the form that he showed in the Vantage last year into the Porsche. As I said earlier, the Porsche is arguably the favourite for the race win, simply because the car has been so quick compared to the Ferrari 458 and the Aston Martin in the WEC so far this year. Bar one retirement, each of their cars that has taken part in a WEC race so far this year has finished on the podium. And even though there's still all the attention on the LMP1 project, Porsche, having put so much marketing effort into the race this year, will definitely be looking to the GTE squad to bring home some silverware. So that's Porsche finished with. Let's go to the last entrant in the GTE class, and that's Aston Martin. Aston Martin have kind of been licking their wounds so far in the WEC this year. If you tuned into my test day review, you'll have heard me talk briefly about that. But recently they've been given a boost with their balance of performance. They've got their fuel capacity of 5 kilos, which they lost about this time, or post Le Mans last year. They've got that back. That's going to help them in the race to go on those longer runs, which you need to do if you're going to win the race. And they're bringing 2 of their V8 Vantages across to France this year. Firstly, the 97 car, which for me has the strongest overall driver lineup. 3 quality drivers and not a weak link between them. So the 97 car is being driven by Darren Turner, Stefan Mucker and Bruno Senna. This team have already raced together quite a bit over the last 18 months in the WEC. They tried to win Le Mans last year in this class and very nearly did so. And for me, as long as the car's good, and if the car can give them the opportunity to do it, and as ever with Le Mans, if they keep out of trouble, these guys will probably be in a chance of getting the win. The 98 car as well, sorry, the 99 car, driven by Alex McDowell, Dowell O'Young and Fernando Reis. Similar to the Ram Racing car for me, this is quite a young squad, stepping up from AM class last year, so the AM class last year. And once again, if things go their way, if they keep their noses clean, keep things out of trouble, cars mechanically sound, they could quite possibly get a podium. The talent is there to do it. But if we have a completely clean 24 hours, which isn't going to happen, but let's say hypothetically, for me the top 3 is going to be, first of all, the Porsche driven by Pilet, Bergmeister and Tandy. Second place will be the Corvette driven by Magnussen, Garcia and Taylor, and third place will be the Aston Martin driven by Turner, Mucker and Senna. So that's part 2, that's the GTEs all out of the way. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, then give it a like. And if you want to know when the next parts of the preview are coming out, then click the subscribe button in the top right hand corner of the video. And yeah, I've been Andrew the Blade. Hope to see you guys very soon.